I don't know why. I think I'm going to laugh at that forever. All right. So during the break, we had a surprise caller.
All right.
Should we just put her right through? Oh, wait. Actually, I have something, Kyle. No? I don't have.
No, you do.
I do. I have something real fast.
She might be upset by this, but go ahead.
Okay. So I have a little something for you, Miss Jackie.
Oh, yeah?
It's a quick little something.
Okay.
Kyle, go.
Hi, Mommy. Happy Mother's Day. We love you. Bye. Bye-bye.
Those are my babies.
Those are your babies. All right.
That's
So
awesome.
that's a good segue right into the caller that we have.
Okay,
on
welcome,
the phone. Happy
caller.
Mother's Day. Hello. Is this Jackie's mother-in-law?
Oh,
It
geez.
certainly is.
Hello,
This is
Nina.
her mother-in-law, and I just had a few little comments to make.
Okay.
If I may.
I like it.
Shocking.
All these mothers that I'm hearing about so far have younger children. Mm-hmm. Now, mothers grow older as children grow older, but your feelings change, I think, a little bit, but you're always going to be a mother.
Right.
Now, I love it when my grandchildren come into my house and hustle and bustle and bound in and all that excitement. I love it. And other people would sit there and go, oh, no, more noise.
I was waiting for the butt.
but no, I think it's wonderful. And my son will come and pick them up after work or whatever, and he'll say, well, you ready for a little bit of a break?
Right.
And I'm thinking, no, I get
Well,
too
we
quiet.
could leave them overnight. I mean, anything I could do for you.
That's why you moved closer. Nina, hey, but Nina, let me ask you a question. So you're a perfect example. Do you feel differently now that your boys are older and wanting to spend time with them on Mother's Day versus when they were little kids tracing behind you?
I don't know. They always did things with their dad to please Mom on Mother's Day. Mm-hmm. And I always used to think, I'm a mother because I chose to be, not because I had to be.
Right.
And I don't need to be having a pat on the back every other day to say thanks for being my mom. I mean, like you say, you show it in little ways all the time.
Right. So you won't be sitting in Jackie's throne then, apparently, on Mother's Day.
No, I mean, I
Go
don't
polish
need to
it
be-
for her, but yeah.
But at
I
the
don't
same
need
time,
that.
But at the same time, Saturday night we're taking you out without the kids,
We are, and
Yes.
it's going to be wonderful and all that.
so we can say thank you for everything that you do.
Well, I know that, and I appreciate that, and I thank you for being such a wonderful mother to my grandchildren.
Oh,
You know,
and I have that recorded.
it's nice. You know, it's nice to say thank you for anything that's done nicely. But even when I have my rotten days with my grandchildren, I still love them.
Yes.
And you know, I'm sure they
They
look at
love
me
you.
and roll their eyes and say, "Oh no, Grandma again."
No,
You know?
never. Well, thank you so much. It's just everything
well,
you do.
I'm
is appreciated.
I'm appreciating this show very much, and
Oh.
it's nice to hear the young people talk about their needs. You know, the empty nest syndrome is very real,
Yeah.
and I never heard, when I read about it in college, I never gave it a thought. Yeah, right, sure, it's going to happen.
Right.
Well, when it did, it was quite a shock.
Right.
You know, it's
And
interesting.
I still feel like my babies are gone, and yet I relive them not only through my grandchildren, but I see my children every once in a while. You know, and I look at my two sisters. Each one of them has lost a child.
Right.
And I think how fortunate I am that I have my babies, all of them, small and, big, large, grown, young, doesn't matter.
Right.
I'm just happy to have all of them around me whenever I can.
Well, you're a good mom and a good grandma, and
Yes,
I know
absolutely.
how much of a gift you've been to have you and your hubby
Oh, well.
moved closer to the
Believe me,
Medulla clan.
they have been our gift. They are our gift.
Well, thank you for your call,
And
Grandma.
Thank you.
Bye, Nina. Have a good
Bye.
weekend.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh, that was so nice. It
is nice.
So, we're talking about women who inspire us. So, when I first moved, well, there have been, I have to say, women throughout my career who have inspired me because I may be working alongside them. Like, I have to give Lisa Credos a shout out. She was the executive producer at Ricky Lake. She always, her kids were first in everything that she did, and she made choices, and I just have so much respect for her. And also Jill Mulligan Bates. I remember hearing her on the phone with her daughters, and I didn't have kids, and hi, how are you? Like, she was talking to them like they were friends. Like, I just loved the kindness that, But one of the first people was Denise Mark, who I worked with back in my NBC days, who just was a great Mom, she's on the phone right now. Denise, welcome.
Yes, hello.
So you and those girls, like first of all, I used to be your babysitter after work. We called it Viagra Patrol so she could spend some time with her husband. Wow. But Denise, tell me, like, I mean, your girls now are grown and amazing and doing such wonderful things. Like, what do you think, what is it about motherhood? Like, what did you do right?
Well, well, first of all, Jackie, thank you for all of that. That's awfully sweet of you. And I was crying listening to all your kids call in, and that's awesome. You know what? I didn't think I did anything right. As you know, working at NBC, I worked 14 hours a day and on the weekends because I wanted to learn other people's jobs so that I could move up. Mm-hmm. And back then in the olden days of 27 years ago for my first daughter, you went back to work at 6 weeks or you didn't have a job, and so I didn't get to take 3 months off or 6 months. And in all that time of the girls growing up, I thought, I'm not with them enough. They're not going to turn out right. It's going to be... So in spite of me, thank you for saying how great they are. They are. My daughter Hillary is 27, as you know, works with kids with autism. She just moved to Utah and loves her job. She was just home for the weekend. Kelsey is 24, just finished her credentialing. And Jackie, she has an interview Monday morning for a job.
Fantastic.
I'm so excited. And, the fact that both the girls have patience for children with disabilities of every kind and yet have no patience for each other when they borrow each other's clothes. But I think, very much like you mentioned about Jill, that calling her kids, my kids used to call me. I had the last pager on earth because they couldn't call in the middle of an edit session or a meeting, so they would page me, and then when I had a moment, I could talk to them. And I did always make sure that I had time, but, I don't want to sound goofy. It kind of took a village. You and Pam, who is now your sister-in-law, but you two worked with me at NBC, would come for Viagra Patrol and go take the kids, and my husband and I could have some time together, and the kids loved hanging out with you and with our other friends, and I have wonderful in-laws that were close by. Mm-hmm. And so, I hope that they saw by example as opposed to me always being with them, because I do feel badly. I mean, my husband very much involved, and there when I couldn't be, and racing home before 6 o'clock because it was $1 a minute to be late at daycare and all of that.
Right.
So,
well, you've done amazing. I mean, and it doesn't mean that you were perfect, Denise, but as a mother with, pretty young kids, just to see the relationship you have with them, and they always felt valued. And I asked your daughters a few years ago, and I was like, what was it that, you feel like was the thing? And they said, you were always fair. So it's not that you were perfect, and it's not that you were like, everything's wonderful. Right. But you were always fair. And I think I've heard moms on the phone with their kids when they're at work and they're like, I'm in a meeting, and they send that energy out. And I just think that your children have always felt valued. So thank you so much for your call. We have to go to break. I'm so sorry.
I know you do, and I love you, and I'm so proud of you.
I love you.
Kim, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
See you. Bye.
We'll be right back.
Oh, we're still going to come back?
We're going to break.
We're going to break. All right,
welcome back. 661-298-5487. We are talking moms who inspire us in all different ways, And Tatiana, our fabulous associate producer, you are not a mom, but you do have one.
Yes, I do have one.
Tell us a little about her.
Well, my mom, I think, is the definition of a super mom. I don't think it's easy for any mother to raise children or $2, let alone do it as a single mother. Mm-hmm. But, Mom, if you are listening, you have done a great job. You have raised 2 daughters who understand hard work, commitment, loyalty, independence, passion, and unconditional love. I know I am older now, but I still and always will need my mom. For example, I had appendix surgery 2 months ago, and she flew out here through hell and high water, literally, to get here and take care of me and get me through my surgery.
And she lives in New York, yes?
Yeah, she lives in New York, and she just dropped everything and said, I need to go take care of my daughter. And that meant literally so much to me, just to see her face when I was laying in the hospital. And just know that, like, my mom's always going to be there for me through thick and thin. And that she'll always be in my corner pushing me to be a better woman. And though we are apart, Mom, you are where my heart is and my home. And I love you very much.
Oh, that's
Pass the tissue.
awesome.
Wow.
It's a little dusty in here. That's awesome. I mean, tell us, like, I mean, what's your mom like?
My mom is fun.
Yeah.
She is a fun person. She was kind of strict on us. I think I made her strict because I was like the rebel child. I just wanted to do what I wanted to do. And she's like, no, like you need to do this.
Right.
But she has that fun aspect. Like I would go away to college. My friends would be hanging out with my mom. They would go to my mom, or if
they
some kids wanted to run away from home, and they would come to my house.
Right.
And they would talk to my mom, and then my mom would have to go to their parents and be like, hey, like, she'd be, like, the mediator and, like, make the child realize, like, hey, like, you're a child at the end of the day and you need to listen to your parents. But, like, my mom, she's just amazing. She would work long hours, and she works in a very demanding industry, yet she would make it to every volleyball game.
Right.
Every single one. And she would take me to club, and like it just wasn't a thing. Like she had a great balance, and I hope to have that balance later on in life.
Did you, when you were younger, did you realize the sacrifices that she was making, or were you just like, oh, of course my mom's going to be here, and you didn't? Do you think that you were able to identify when you were younger?
I don't think I was able to identify when I was younger. It was more when I got to college and I was like away from her, and I was like, oh, like she's doing all this stuff just so that I can succeed and have things better than what she
some kids
had.
never see it. And the thing is, I have to say to like you, my friend, are constantly making sacrifices and never ask for. Well, I could speak all day, but why don't we just let this kid do it?
Oh, you little stinker.
Hi, Mom. I'm Sam. I just want to wish you a happy Mother's Day. I love you so much. Thank you for all the stuff you do. Love you.
How sweet is that little voice?
He's the cutest little kid.
He is the cutest little thing. Thanks, Jackie. Where's that tissue? Where's my boy? Give me tissue.
So dusty.
You know what? It's interesting. I don't see it as a sacrifice. I see it as, like your mother-in-law said, that you chose this. I chose to be a mom, and I don't see it as a sacrifice. I do, as an adult, can say to you, oh my gosh, I'm busting my butt to get to where I need to be today. But I chose to bring him into this world, and it is my responsibility and my joy to be able to be as much of a role model and a good parent to him as I can. And I know you and I battle about this, about like me honoring my dad on Mother's Day, but I didn't have a mom growing up. My dad raised me by himself with just me and my brother, and I thank my dad all the time for sacrificing. And it's interesting because I don't see it that way, but I do realize what he did. And he would never, ever let me say thank you. He always kept saying, what else was I supposed to do? And my answer always was that you fought for me. When my mom abandoned us, my dad did whatever it took to take care of us and to provide us with a stable environment. And I do thank him for that. Just like I feel like you're saying, Tatiana, about your mom, that like there's an acknowledgement that we don't have to do as much. And I'm just very grateful that my dad was my role model, because I feel like I get to be that for my kid, and I'm pretty fortunate to be his mom.
Well, you're an amazing mom and friend.
Yeah.
So we got to go to break.
Oh gosh. All right. Well, speaking of other role models, coming up, my personal motherhood role model. I think you'll think she's pretty cool.
Yeah. Plus our broad of the week.
All right. We're going to break. Be right back.